Chapter 6, Best Friend. On the other end of the line, a voice so familiar it sent a jolt through her heart. "It's you?" She agreed to meet, but after hanging up, she lay staring at the ceiling, puzzled. Why would Lin Qianqian suddenly reach out? Cut to the past, memories surged like a tide. Back then, because of the Wen family's influence, no one at school was willing to talk to her. She had stood in the hallway, knocking desperately, calling out, "Please, open the door." At last, the door opened. The only one who reached out a hand to pull her in was Lin Qianqian. In that moment, she believed this girl was a friend for life. But later, she realized that friend was nothing more than a blade wrapped in soft silk. Lin Qianqian suggested holding a school fundraiser for her father's medical treatment, and even wore a look of regret when she told her the application had been rejected. She believed her, overwhelmed with gratitude. But the truth was, the rejection had come directly from Lin Qianqian's own uncle, the vice principal. Trusting her, she even confessed her most humiliating secret. The Wen family was forcing her to marry a 60-year-old man just to save her father. Lin Qianqian comforted her on the surface. "I'll be there with you through this." But in private, she sneered. Until one day, outside the girls' restroom, she overheard Lin Qianqian chatting with someone. A classmate mocked Yuan Chu for treating Lin Qianqian like a savior, calling her shameless, bad luck to anyone who's close, and even embellishing it into a rumor that she slept with an old man. The most ridiculous part? The source of that rumor was none other than the best friend she trusted most. Lin Qianqian even pretended to tell others not to gossip, while secretly letting the laughter spread and bragging about the scoop as if it were her own triumph. Outside the door, her hand gripped the handle, tears streaming uncontrollably. So betrayal, it turned out, happened in silence. Trust, once shattered, collapsed in an instant. Back to the present. Wearing pink bunny pajamas, she lay in bed and sighed. It hasn't even been that long, yet it feels like a lifetime. 3 days later, she would meet Lin Qianqian again. She smirked coldly to herself. What new surprise would this best friend bring this time? 3 days later, their meeting will be 1. The truth exposed, friendship completely destroyed. 2. A fresh round of lies and schemes. 3. An unexpected twist. She had her own hidden hardships for a carefully orchestrated bloodbath. Chapter 7. Because You're Worth It. Yi Chenyuan pushed the door open. The room was silent. On the bed, the girl was curled up, sleeping fitfully. He couldn't help but mutter under his breath, "That's a dangerous way to sleep." Quietly, he stepped closer, set down his files, and gently lifted the blanket. Yuan Chu's forehead was slick with cold sweat, her lips trembled with panic, and suddenly she clutched his hand. Yi Chenyuan froze in surprise. Then came her faint, broken words in the haze of a dream. "No, Dad, don't go." Xiao Chu's scared to be alone. The man stiffened for just a moment, then leaned down, his palm warm and steady as it patted her shoulder. "Sleep, I'm here." Only then did she finally drift into a deeper rest. When she woke, her head still ached, and her mood was heavy. Her father was safe for now. Only then could she breathe a little easier. But Lin Qianqian's invitation still lodged in her mind like a splinter she couldn't pull out. That was when Ye Chenyuan's voice suddenly broke the silence. "You're awake?" She jolted, startled, never imagining he would still be in the room. She wanted to ask why, but instinctively accepted the glass of water he held out. When she realized what she'd done, she mentally scolded herself. "Where did your guard go?" "Is it cold?" he asked softly. Flustered, she gulped it down in one go, her heart racing from this unexpected gentleness. "How's my dad?" she blurted. "Sent home. Someone's watching over him." His voice was calm, solid, strangely reassuring. Then he made an offer. He would let her family move into one of his unused properties. She shook her head immediately, feeling unworthy of such kindness. But the man simply raised his hand, his fingertip brushing lightly against her lips. "Shh, you're worth it." In that moment, even the air grew warm and tinged with something unspoken. Is he really just being kind, or is there something more? Chapter 8. The Appointment. Ye Chenyuan didn't beat around the bush. He wanted Xiao Chu to paint a portrait of him, and during this time, he promised to protect her. Xiao Chu hesitated, but the man added casually, almost like a final push, "Your father has already agreed." She froze. Why would her father accept a stranger's offer? Was it because he had saved her before, or was there another reason? Having seen the cruelty of the world, she both longed for kindness and feared to trust it. After a long silence, Ye Chenyuan looked up and asked, "What's wrong?" Biting her lip, Xiaochu finally spoke. "Why are you so good to me? Don't tell me. You think I'm that kind of girl?" The man gave a faint, wordless smile, then lightly flicked her forehead. "I treat you well because you are worth it, and I know you're not someone who chases vanity." Xiaochu muttered, "That's too vague an answer." During their casual conversation, she mentioned she would meet a friend in 3 days. Ye Chenyuan suggested sending someone to protect her, but she refused. Seeing it as unnecessary, the man sighed, leaving with a meaningful smile. Good friends. When the door closed, Xiaochu snuggled under the covers. That smile had touched her heart. 3 days later, she arrived at the meeting spot. Lin Chanshan sat anxiously on a bench, worried. Yuanchu might back out. Upon arrival, Xiaochu had prepared herself mentally. As the doorbell rang, she greeted her friend. Meeting her, Lin Chanshan immediately noticed a change in Xiaochu's demeanor, expressed how much she had missed her, and even thoughtfully ordered her favorite meal. But Xiaochu scanned the surroundings. The area was upscale but secluded, and something felt off. Suddenly, Lin Chanshan clutched her stomach, saying she needed to use the restroom, and instructed Xiaochu to wait right there. In reality, Lin Chanshan ducked into the bathroom and sent a message, "The person has arrived." The air seemed to thicken. Xiaochu sat frozen, a sense of unease rising in her chest. Her hand quietly reached toward her bag, ready to leave at any moment. "Are you waiting for me?" At that moment, a hand landed on her shoulder. She turned. An older man approached, smiling, "My dear." Fear instantly clouded Xiaochu's eyes. Could this "my dear" gentleman be the nightmare from her past? Chapter 9. The Power Rising Within. His sudden appearance shocked Yuanchu, memories flooding back. Once, to save her foster father, Yuanchu's biological father had forced her to choose between her dignity and a loved one's life. The Wen family had used a fake medical report to coerce her into marrying Liu Jigi, treating her as a bargaining chip at the dinner table, pushing her toward an old, lecherous man. That man leered at her and, in front of her, asked, "Such a fine daughter, you're willing to give her away?" Her father, like a sycophant, laughed and said it was her good fortune. Yuanchu sneered inwardly. Fortunately, the truth had surfaced in time, otherwise she would have been forced into that marriage. But what hurt her most was that this scheme had been orchestrated by her so-called best friend, Lin Qiangqian. When the old man uttered, "My dear," she snapped. Grabbing her bag, she swung it at his face and stormed out. The old man stood up, insisting stubbornly that she was going to marry him anyway. But Yuanchu ignored him completely, thinking that now her father was safe and she would no longer be coerced. Liu Jigi tried to forcibly reminisce with her. Prepared in advance, Yuanchu retaliated with pepper spray. While he was temporarily incapacitated, she seized the chance to escape. Liu Jigi, humiliated and furious, grabbed her arm, but due to the disparity in strength, he couldn't restrain her. He threatened to punish her, and Yuanchu, terrified, struggled and shouted, "No!" At that critical moment, a strange, overwhelming force surged from within her. The man was thrown violently, crashing against the wall. There was no time for her to be stunned. She ran immediately. To her shock, the wall he had hit actually cracked. Yi Chenyuan, hearing this later, simply said, "It seems protection is unnecessary." Chapter 10. The New Residence. Yi Chenyuan personally arranged for the man in the suit to escort Yuanchu and her foster father to a new home. When they opened the door, the space was bright, spacious, and exquisitely cozy. Her foster father remarked that although the house wasn't large, it was perfectly quiet amid the bustling city. The location was prime, yet outside the window flowed the tranquil Long River. Yuanchu rolled happily on the sofa, and her foster father was also pleased, though curiosity lingered in his heart. Why had Yi Chenyuan gone to such lengths? The man in the suit came to confirm if they were satisfied, and her foster father nodded in approval. Though they couldn't repay him yet, for the sake of his daughter's safety, this arrangement was undoubtedly the best choice. Yuanchu excitedly picked out her room while her foster father headed to the kitchen to cook. As she returned to her room to unpack, she recalled lying in the hospital for 2 full months. Though she had fully recovered, Ye Chenyuan had insisted she stay longer out of caution. His expression was cold, yet he cared deeply about everything concerning her, even calling to apologize for being on a business trip and unable to personally escort her to the new house. Yuanchu didn't voice it, but in her heart she felt touched, though she kept reminding herself he was just doing this for the portrait. While organizing, she discovered a glowing gourd pendant, piquing her curiosity. Recalling the golden Buddha statue with its unexplored contents, and knowing how important it was to Wen Tiancheng, she decided to keep these items carefully. At the dining table, father and daughter shared a warm, satisfying meal. Her father mentioned Ye Chenyuan, and Yuanchu explained he would be away on a business trip for a month. When the topic turned to school, her father worried over the gossip and rumors she had endured, suggesting she transfer. But Yuanchu shook her head. She was going back. Those malicious labels others had casually attached, she intended to tear them off herself, piece by piece. The new house, the pendant, the golden Buddha, what secrets might they conceal? Comment below, do you want to uncover the mystery of the pendant first, or the secret behind the portrait?